Welcome everyone. I'm Remso Martinez with Mark. No, we're gonna restart. Okay. Okay.
So it's so much harder whenever you know you're being recorded.
Welcome everyone. I'm Remso Martinez with Marketer on the Run, and I'm excited to host a special webinar featuring Alexander Ramsey, CEO and lead account manager over at Layerly. Today we're diving deep into these fantastic website solutions that can transform your online business. Over the next 20 minutes, we'll be exploring how Layerly is revolutionizing website development, see live demonstrations, and showcase real success stories from businesses just like yours. You'll discover how to create a powerful, maintenance free website that drives real business results. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. We'll also have time at the end where I'll be going over some questions that a lot of customers seem to have as they're getting introduced to everything. So, if you have any questions whatsoever after watching the webinar, you can go ahead and reach out to me at Remso, that's REMSO at marketerontherun.com. I'll connect you to Alexander and we'll get all of your big questions about how Layerly could help support you and your business taken care of. So without further ado, Alexander, before we dive into Layerly, go ahead and just share with us what inspired you to create this platform and what gap were you trying to fill in the market when you were thinking about all this?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, Remzo. I'm excited. I feel honored to be on your webinar here and appreciate your time. So Layerly came out from basically this idea that getting a website for a small business is too complicated, it's too expensive, and it takes too long. I've been in the website space for about 13 years, and I've owned my own creative agency for 10 years. And I've seen it all in terms of websites and in terms of building, the process that it takes, the cost that it takes. And I realized that for a lot of small businesses, getting a website was just unaffordable. They weren't ready to spend thousands of dollars up front to get a website, and they wanted it yesterday, not in 3 months or 6 months. So I really wanted to offer something that was easy and simple and straightforward for small business owners, someone that is just starting out, or even businesses that have had a website for a long time, but they need something updated. They want something that looks new and fresh and modern. Layerly is a great option for a lot of people.
And I said I wouldn't go off on any tangents, but I'll go off on this one. People ask me why, I went ahead and worked with you to become an exclusive partner for Layerly. And the big thing is like, I'm not just somebody hawking your stuff. I'm actually a true believer. When I went ahead and launched my agency, I went ahead and worked with a web designer and I spent thousands of dollars and it was overly complicated. And the big thing for me as I was trying to scale a business, but also tend to my customers was I don't want to have to deal with my website. That's right. Even the guy who's supposed to be in the business of marketing and looking good, my initial website was just a homepage and it was good enough to be good enough, but it wasn't good enough to scale. It wasn't good enough to actually show people what I have to serve them with and how I could help them. So you had my website up within 5 days. It was better than anything that I could have potentially thought of. I was incredibly impressed. You have a team of folks that also really helped with the copy to make sure that everything was as succinct and good as possible. So when I tell people that I think Layerly is the best solution for you, I'm not just saying that. I'm saying that because it was the best solution for me to get the support I needed to look awesome and save a bunch of time and know when I need help, I'm not, having somebody like ripping my wallet apart.
Yeah, no, that's right. I appreciate that, Remzo. Yeah, and the 5 day part of it is really key, and I think it's a big factor when it comes to getting something started as a small business owner. Oftentimes, you see that people are trying to build it themselves. They might be, choosing like the Squarespace or Wix option, and they realize this is not easy, and it doesn't look how I want it to look. And that's really where we come in is making something look great and represent their business and their brand and their identity and just doing it for them in record time.
So before we go ahead and actually get to take a look at everything, just for folks that are just getting started with everything, what makes Layerly even more different than other traditional website builders like Wix or Squarespace? They see a lot of commercials on YouTube and other places saying, "Hey, if you're a busy business owner, you should go ahead and do this. It's drag and drop, it's easy. Anyway, anyone can do it any way you want." But as we know, it's not always that simple.
Right, yeah. Actually, the majority of people that choose Layerly previously had Wix or Squarespace or GoDaddy, and they realized exactly like you said, it's not that simple. They kind of tout this idea that anyone can build a website and it can look great. And what they offer is basically two options. You can either choose from a template that someone has already created. It's very generic, it's very simple, and then you can kind of add your text and add your images to that template. Or you could kind of start from scratch and you could use the building blocks of what they offer. But what a lot of people find is that they spend an hour trying to move one image over to the other side of their page and they get really frustrated. Or they get a website that is done with a template, but it doesn't look anything like their brand. It doesn't really represent their business or who they are really trying to reach. And then on top of that, let's say they do get their website done and they're kind of happy with how it looks. They have no idea how it's performing, and they likely haven't optimized it for Google. And we do all of that. We do custom design, we do custom development, and we manage it for you throughout the life of your subscription. So anytime you need changes, like you said, we do those for free. And also, everything we do is search engine optimized. Basically, what that means is we make sure that you're going to be found on Google with your new website.
So you have a 5-day guarantee, and you got my website done the exact day that you said it would get done. And it was like 90% complete, minus just some of the stuff that I wanted to change because it was my first time looking for it. So
Yeah.
between when I went ahead and signed up to when we launched the site, it was pretty much within a week. And we made a few tinkers here and there. But when I look at the hours I did not have to spend, that is time that I could be with clients. That's time that I could be following up on referrals. That's time that I could just take off to not have to work with it or
Right.
anything. Can you walk us through how quickly you're able to do that process? So somebody signs up for Layerly today. What does the onboarding process look like, and how are we able to keep within that 5-day guaranteed delivery?
Yeah, that's a great question. So every business is unique, but what we've found is probably 90% of small businesses fall within a very similar framework of what they need within their website. And I would say, generally speaking, that includes a homepage, a About Us page, and services. And within services, you've got a list of services, a list of products or benefits that your business offers. So we generally find that most businesses can fall into that framework. And we start off with a kickoff call, similar to what we're having right now, a short conversation where we just learn about your business. We learn about who it is you're trying to market to, what do you specialize in, what makes you unique. We take a look at your brand, your colors. We share a little bit of what websites you like and inspire you because everybody's got a different taste in what they enjoy. And we take all of that, we hand it off to our design team, and they run with it. They design a website based on your brand and your unique look and feel. And then we move that into development very quickly. And from development, we display a kind of a first look of what your website's going to be. And the neat thing about that is we do get that all done in 5 business days. So within a week, and once you get to see the first look, you can easily ask for changes or requests or edits to make sure that you really love it. And all of that is free within your subscription. You're not paying anything extra to make changes, where with most development agencies, you're going to have to pay for those hours.
Yeah, and that kind of leads directly into my next question. Many of our clients are concerned when they first come on board about maintaining their websites. How does Layerly go ahead and simplify the update and maintenance process? Because as you mentioned, a year goes by, some stuff gets outdated, or certain connections get unplugged, or integrations aren't working. So then they have to go and they're paying somewhere. There was one company I worked with that was charging about 150 an hour. And it doesn't matter whether it took them 5 minutes. The moment you called them and asked them to do something, they went ahead and billed you that. So as part of your Layerly subscription, whether you're doing month to month or whether you're doing a year-long commitment, you're getting this back-end support. So what are you guys doing to make sure that I don't have to think about whether or not I should do updates or whether I need to do keyword improvements for SEO? What's going on in the background?
Yeah, so I'm gonna share my screen here and let me know if you're able to see that okay.
Yep.
But basically, this is our Layerly site, and the what I wanted to share with you is we've got this really cool comment tool where whenever somebody wants to request changes to their site, they have this link that is sent to them once their website is done, and then they get it every month in their analytics report. But they can open up this link and they can make comments anywhere they want on their website. So if they say, hey, you know what? We're Colorado's most trusted linen and laundry specialist. I think we want to actually change this to say the most trusted linen and commercial laundry specialist. And we can make changes like this and submit those changes, and we get a notification immediately that somebody has requested those changes. So in terms of requesting updates and edits to your site, we really make this as simple and as straightforward as possible. And we get it all done very fast. We do it within 24 to 48 hours. So it is very hands-free. You really don't have to think about um, uh, going into a platform, understanding how it works, and making changes yourself. You can just have a very visual look of what your website is and say, hey, I want them to make these changes for us. On top of that, we do basically what we call a Layerly Pulse, where we connect with all of our website customers at least once a quarter to actually review their site and say, "Hey, Remzo, we're taking a look at your site, and here's what we're seeing in terms of uh, Google optimization. We're seeing like a lot of people are looking at it here, but the click-through rate isn't very high. So let's actually look at your site together and figure out what should we change to make sure that people are actually clicking through your content and consuming that content and understanding it and then contacting you. So really, our goal is to get you up and running as fast as possible, and then make sure that you are being found on Google as quickly as possible. We really want to make sure that the websites that we're building are allowing our customers to be successful.
So you can go ahead and build sites completely from scratch. And the one thing that you also offer, and this is what really helped me out, is we basically moved from my old website to having it entirely be hosted by Layerly. So, what are the common challenges that people come to you for that they need immediate solutions to? In my case, I had a single splash page. All you could really do was scroll up and down. It didn't offer too much. So when I came to you, what I needed different page breakdowns. I needed it to look stylistically more appealing. And you went ahead and did that turnaround within 5 days. So, what are the common challenges that you see a lot of people come, whether they're coming without a website or whether they're looking to have Layerly go ahead and manage everything? And how does Layerly go ahead and solve those immediate problems?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think a big common problem that we see is somebody has started something themselves, but they're not very happy with it. And it's usually because they started with a platform like Squarespace or Wix or maybe even WordPress, and they knew enough to get dangerous and be able to change a template or create something, but in the end, it just really didn't represent their brand very well. So we get a lot of people that have maybe started something like that, but it's not working and it doesn't really look great. So we we often will hear that and take that and say, let us take care of that for you. Let us redesign the site for you and make something that really represents your brand very well. As we're looking at this example right here of this business, Professional Touch Laundry Services, they were kind of an interesting case where they are actually a building or a business that have been around for almost 30 years. And their website was a very old, hard-coded HTML website, and it was nearly impossible to make changes to edit, and it really didn't represent their new brand. They had gone through a rebranding, and they wanted something that looked really fresh and modern, but kind of had a retro look and feel. And they shared all of this with us, along with some other inspiration. And one of their inspirations was an apparel company that just had like a very kind of neat retro look. And we basically took that and said, let's create a website that has kind of this retro look and feel, that has your new logo and also talks about all of the services that you offer. And we were able to do all of this within 5 business days and present it to the customer, and they loved it. They had a couple changes as far as words went or images that we chose for them, but it was really a very hands-free process for them to get a brand new website up and running, moving away from a platform that was very old and outdated, and now they have something that they don't have to figure out how to make changes to. They can use this comment tool that we've got to drop comment pins whenever they need to make changes, or as well as these quarterly pulse calls where we actually show them how their website's performing and be able to offer suggestions for them as well.
Yeah, and I mean, you can just see from the examples of scrolling around this one site. I can only imagine how this looked if it was older than my site. My site was less than a year old, and it already looked like it had been made by a 5-year-old. So immediately, you made me look really good, really fast because your website is your digital business card. People are going to judge you based off how your website looks. That's just how we are. And I can tell
Right,
you, folks, he's pulled up my website right now. Mine did not look like this. It didn't have the additional pages. It didn't have a blog. It didn't have the interactive features so you can actually like get accustomed to things and get a feel for my client base and everything. All this was done in 5 days. And when I came in from my minor edits, it was completed almost immediately. And as I've
hmm
wanted to update things over time, I go ahead and I'll use that link. I'll drop a pin when I have suggestions, or I'll go ahead and drop a line over to Alexander and his team, and they'll work with me on things. It's just amazing how much this mattered because I didn't often think too many people pay attention to my website. But it wasn't until I got a new one that people started saying, dude, your website is different. And they meant that in a good way. They didn't want to say my old one was crap, but what they really wanted to say was that this was a drastic improvement. And the answer is always the same. My website's powered by Layerly because I need to focus on doing the best job for my clients. I'm a one-man show. I don't have the time to go in and do everything I need to for my website because initially I'm a copywriter. When I was building websites 10 years ago, it's drastically different than how it is now because you need somebody who's keeping up with that. You need somebody who's
right.
an expert and a trusted person that you can talk to, and that's what Layerly has been able to provide for me. I got a little tongue tied there. So you saw a laundry company. You saw a marketing agency. Are there any other sites that you're really proud of that you can kind of show people? It's like, hey, this isn't industry specific. What I have found with other site builders is that if you're going with the basic option, you're doing it yourself, people complain that their websites look too much like everyone else's website. Now, while
Right.
majority of websites do have a pattern and you want things to be easy for people to understand from a user experience, you also want to know that your website is being customized for you.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up a couple other ones here. This is kind of a neat one. This was a
Oh, I
a,
like that one.
a company that they do basically off-road lift kits for Jeeps and any type of like overland or off-road type of um, like off-roading you'd want to do. So they do a lot of service related things. So we wanted to feature their services that they offer. And obviously like they've got, all these businesses that they work with that they partner with for their site. So this was kind of a neat one that feels very rugged and very unique for their brand. Another one here is a local gym. So they really wanted to take a very like dark and moody look for their brand. Their colors were black, white, and red. So we got to create this neat website that has just a very strong focus on their logo, and showcasing their gym, the different training that they offer, and again, like it's very custom. This was very much made for their brand. You're not going to see another website that looks quite like this one. Two more that I could share. This was another one that they do basically like fitness. So they take a very unique approach in exercise and fitness regimens, and their website was very much very clean. Um, uh, sorry, very very clean and modern. They really wanted it to kind of have that black, white, and yellow look to represent their brand as well. And then this last one is kind of cool. Um, kind of taking a mix between blue and white branding within their logo. We take a lot of this from taking a look at their logo. We look at their social media profiles to see what they like, and then they'll also send us maybe some website inspiration for other businesses that they like, and it gives us a lot to work off of here. But they basically do hardware and software sourcing, helping other businesses get computer and technology that they need to run their business. So again, with this one, just kind of seeing a list of services they offer, being able to learn about the business, their pricing, contact form, all of that is included here within their website. So every website takes a very different approach. It's a very personal touch. And we really are not working from any pre-made templates for any of these. It really is a very high touch approach on building out a website that has all of the makings of something that you know how to navigate immediately. You arrive at the website and you know how to use it, but it also still looks very custom and very unique to represent their brand and their unique personality.
Yeah, and that's fantastic, and it really shows the range of, the different clients you have, but also what you're willing to do for them, because not every client is the same. And I can tell you from a branding and PR perspective, you want to be able to have people go on your website and just really be immersed with what they're seeing. If people are comparing, that means they're thinking of somebody else. And if they're thinking of
Right.
somebody else, you're going to be in constant comparison. And from the
Mhm.
sites that you showed, they're all very personalized, and that's what I felt really helped me stand out. Because when I sent you
Yeah.
the sites that I was inspired by, you didn't copy and paste them. What you did was you took the best elements that made them stand out, and you really meshed them together with my own brand. And I feel that I really stand out amongst other industry colleagues and competitors, because no one's going to look at my site and think it's some of the others. They might have
Right.
similarities, but I really stand out. And that's meant a lot to me. So here's the big thing, and it always comes down to this. And this is how I know whether or not somebody's actually looked at your pricing or not. Whether I bring it up and they're like, oh, I don't know if it's in the budget or not. We've already mentioned with other companies, with other contractors that are building and maintaining your website. The market has gotten to the point where folks are charging outrageous hourly rates. And to host and
Mhm.
manage your website too, it's almost like have to go ahead and sell them a kidney or your first child. Let's go ahead and do the breakdown. And this is what I think is phenomenal, because you're not just getting your website in 5 days. You're not just getting the full-time support when needed. You're not just getting the Layerly Pulse where you get those quarterly reviews. You're not just getting the monthly reports. You're
Mhm.
getting a fantastic deal that I have not seen elsewhere on the market for the value and for the price. So let's go ahead and talk about that month to month to year breakdown.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, so we talked about a lot. We talked about a lot of what Layerly offers. I'm on the Layerly site right now, and you can definitely take a look and see this. On our site, you'll get to see a lot of other examples of sites that we've completed. Hearing client testimonials, really getting a good feel for the variety of work that we're capable of. You can see samples here if you go to the site. But in terms of pricing, this is what we're looking at. So pricing is all done on a month-to-month basis. So right now we're looking at the yearly price for Layerly, and this is 127 a month with a year commitment. So you pay it every month, but you commit to the year. And what this includes is three professionally designed pages. One of those could be a services page or a blog or capabilities or markets or industries that we reach. And you can have sub pages within that are related to those services. We call that a collection of pages. All of this happens within our 5 business day turnaround. You work with a personal account manager and you get quarterly strategy conversations with that account manager to really look at how is my website performing? Based on this, what changes should we make to continue to drive traffic, to be found on Google, to know how my ad is running whenever someone clicks on my site. And on top of all of this, you get unlimited free edits to your site. So just like we looked at the comment tool here for professional touch laundry, anytime that you want to request changes to your site, you can use that comment tool, drop comment pins anywhere you need, and we'll get a notification immediately, and our team will make those changes for you on your behalf for free. On top of all this, we also have a different suite of add-ons. So if you have the need for integrating your social media feed, or if you sell physical or digital products, we have a shop add-on to do e-commerce. If you need additional photography beyond the 10 free stock photos we already offer you, and then as well as a page add-on. So maybe you say, those 3 pages is not enough for me. We have a page add-on where you can add on either a single page or another whole collection of pages to really make sure that your website is growing with your business. Um, Along with that, if you are really starting and you're brand new and you don't even have a website domain, a .com domain for your brand, we can purchase that on your behalf and take care of that for you. If you already have one, that's great. We'll just connect your website to your existing domain, and everything else is taken care of and managed for you.
Yeah, you haven't just saved me possibly thousands of dollars long term. You've saved me a lot of time. And as somebody who is new to the game, who has really had to focus on, being the best I can at my skill set, being the technician, but also being the business owner, I had to learn to let things go. But what that allowed me to do is that allowed me to put my best foot forward of things. And by working with the team at Layerly, at least I know that my website is always going to look fantastic. And whenever I need help, and I travel a lot for business, it doesn't matter where I am, I either take care of it myself with the pin to go ahead and leave a comment and it goes to them and they fix it immediately, or I just go ahead and send my account manager an email and I know it's going to get taken care of promptly. This is something that, especially for small and mid-sized businesses, it's not a matter of should you. The question should really be why not? And I've got some additional questions on that, but as we're starting to wrap up, right now we're recording this webinar in December of 2024. We've already gone through a lot. Alexander, is there anything for 2025 and onward that your team's currently working on? Anything cool that you kind of want to tease while you're here?
Yeah. No, I think that's a great question. We do have a couple things that we're working on. We're always working on including new add-ons because we really want to know that when somebody comes to Layerly, these add-ons that are currently available will continue to grow. We'll continue to add more of them, because we want to know that we are not just providing a website that will last you for the first year or two of your new business. We want to know that we're able to continue to provide support for those small businesses that are really growing and expanding. And we really believe that this subscription model is the best way of getting a website up and running. So that we're always working on those. The Layerly Pulse is actually something that is relatively new. These chats that we have, which we get to do quarterly, if not more. And this is just a great way to really get like a pulse, a heartbeat on how your website is doing. And one of the things that we do is we look at an analytics report just like this one. This particular website was a home services business. And when they came to us, they had a Wix website, and you can kind of see what their Wix website was doing before we got started, in terms of impressions, in terms of finding them on Google. And since getting their website up and running, I mean, you can see those impressions start coming up. People are finding this business. They're finding them on Google, and we're able to take a look at all the search queries to see how are they finding you? Where are they coming from? What are the pages that they're looking at? What are people doing on your website, and how can we continue to grow that search volume, and really make sure that we're targeting the right market. So we're constantly working to really try to make you look your best and have your business perform as best as we can possibly do that.
So as we start to wrap things up, for that busy business owner that's looking at this and they're like, this sounds too good to be true. I don't know if I want to make that plunge, because for a lot of folks making changes, they're hesitant. What is typically the one pain point that you bring up that turns somebody who's on the fence into trusting the Layerly team to help them with all their website goals?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I would say, every business should have a website. From the beginning, every business should have a website. A website allows you to be professional. It produces credibility. If somebody hears about you, the first place they're probably going to go is to a website. And with that, we really believe that the best way to have a website is to know that it is taken care of by one company who you trust, that you can really know that they are taking care of you in your best interest, and that you can talk to a real person that's going to help you grow your website presence. We see so many people that are trying to build a website themselves, and maybe even if they do get it to a point where they really like it, if they ever have questions or need help or are wondering how their site is performing, they don't have anyone to talk to. And the personal experience that we offer with Layerly is really something that we pride ourselves on. Our team is totally based in the United States. We are a US based business that is really trying to help US based businesses. We want to make sure that we're offering the best service for them, and doing it here on US soil. So I would say our personal touch is very unique. The quality of our design is great, and the results that you're going to find by getting a website with us is really something that is very special, I believe.
Absolutely. And once again, folks, I'm not just an authorized Layerly reseller, but I'm a Layerly client and I'm a Layerly believer. And I believe that this is one of the best resources for small businesses, nonprofits, content creators, anyone that wants to do their best in the smartest way possible from a time perspective and from a financial perspective. If you're interested today, you can go ahead and schedule a call with Alex and the team. There's a link on this page where you can go ahead and learn everything. It'll take you over to Layerly's website, and understand that when you go ahead and purchase a Layerly subscription through Marketer on the Run, I'll also be one of your project managers as needed. So whether you want to do a complete handoff of the onboarding process, or whether you want somebody to have access to look at your site to give you advice from a marketing perspective, that's just one of the added benefits of purchasing a Layerly subscription through Marketer on the Run. Alexander, thank you so much. This is a tool that I wish that I had when I first started my business, but I'm glad I eventually realized that this was something that existed. I'm glad we met, and I'm glad that we were able to make the Marketer on the Run website so fantastic. And not just for me, but also from the clients that I've gone ahead and brought over who said, my website was in darkness and now it's been dragged into the light and it looks fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Remzo. Thank you for your time, for your business and trust in us, and for the opportunity to do this. I'm really appreciative and very excited for the partnership that we've got together, and very excited for the people that are hearing this and knowing that they need website help. That's really what we want to do is we want to help small businesses. We want to see them succeed, and it's something I'm very passionate about and get very excited about. So. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to share a little bit about what we do.
Absolutely, folks. Go ahead and schedule your call or just jump the gun and get started today. It's a 5-day guaranteed turnaround. You're not going to regret it. Click that button. Let's get started building your new website powered by Layerly today. Thank you.